Sharkie Gamer here. So today we'll take a look at the Tron Gaming Keyboard designed by Razer. So this is a Tron themed keyboard based off the Tron Legacy movie made by Disney. You've got the Razer logo up the top. You've got the keyboard image there. On the bottom of the box, it's just kind of a standard Tron. There's a Razer logo, barcode, stuff like that. On the top of the box, you've got advertisement of the Tron mouse, which I've actually done a video of. So if you want to check out my video of the mouse and mouse mat, check a link in the description and you can go check that review out because it's pretty cool as well. There's technical specifications, which is the same on the back, so I'll get to that in a moment. You've got Tron Derez the enemy. Prepare to lay programs and fellow gamers to waste with the precision of a light cycle carving a light trail. From the res and derez lighting effects during startup and shutdown to the smooth black finish of the hyper response keys, the backlit Tron Gaming Keyboard designed by Razer is exactly what you need to dominate the game grid. The detachable modular keypad, lighting effects triggered by in-game alerts, and fully programmable keys with macro capabilities almost turn this keyboard into a recognizer, capturing you into the Tron universe. On the back of the box, it shows you a picture of the keyboard there. At the top here it says, all keys fully programmable with infinite macro length. Tron lighting alerts triggered by in-game actions. Media jacks, audio out, microphone in. Detachable modular keypad, and detachable on the right or left. Fully illuminated keyboard, res and derez light and sound effects. Flat keys with short travel distance and immediate actuation. Res and derez light and sound effects. See and hear the backlit Tron Gaming Keyboard res to life with authentic light and sound effects straight from the movie. Let the keyboard react to your actions on the game grid with authentic light alerts. Detachable modular keypad attaches on either side. Attach the keypad on your Tron Gaming Keyboard on either side of the main keyboard for optimal desktop space efficiency. Flat keys with short travel distance and immediate actuation. The flat slim keycaps are using Razer hyper response technology and offer a short travel distance for immediate actuation of commands. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the box. So it basically comes in a slip sleeve like that. And the internal box kind of has this kind of res effect going along the sides of it. Looks pretty cool actually. It's got like almost made out of a lot of like little polygons. It's got the Tron logo there. And when you open this up, the first thing you're greeted with is like this black perspex plastic, and it's got the, I don't know if you can see that. It says Disney, it says Tron Legacy, and it's got the Razer logo there as well. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so this is the keyboard. Now first off, the cable. You can see it's braided, so it's got a really thick, strong cable. And the end of the cable, you'll notice that there are two USBs, and there's also a headphone, or sorry, an audio jack and a microphone jack. So I'll just go ahead and pull the stuff out of here first, and then we'll take a closer look at each of the items. Okay, so first off, that's the keyboard. As you can see, the whole keyboard has that glossy finish, so it's very fingerprint prone, really kind of glossy finish. It's got the Razer logo down here. Well, not necessarily the Razer, it's got the kind of four square logo type thing and the Razer logo here. On its own, just like this, it's pretty large, as you can see. It's got larger keys. It's pretty slim though. It's quite a flat keyboard. Even the keys are really flat, if you can see that. Really low profile key set. In the back, you've got these rubber grips here, so you can easily put it like it is, or you've got these clips to make the keyboard higher if you like it that way. On the back of the keyboard, you've got your microphone and audio in jacks, so you can have a headset and you can have your microphone plugged into there. the next bit you get is the modular keypad. So you get this little clip, and you get the keypads. The keypad has got the same finish as basically just your numpad. This little clip to put on can go either side, as you can see, and on the back it's also got that clip, so you can have it the same size as that. But to put, say, onto this side, you clip this into here. This little metal piece here actually helps you guide it, and it's also a bit magnetic, which means when you put it in there, it'll snap into fairly the right place to help you put it in properly, as you can see. So that when you come to plug it into this one, it'll do the same. You just got to align it. Sometimes it can take a bit more, and then it snaps into place. So that's what it looks like. I'll just move this slightly this way so you can actually see it a bit better. And there we go. So first off, as you can see, it's a very long keyboard. It is extra long, especially with the numpad added onto it. The key is overall bigger, which means it makes the keyboard longer. So if you have quite a small keyboard tray, this probably won't fit into a keyboard tray. And this, of course, you remove the numpad because it's pretty long, so it'll take up a lot of space on your desk. Now the next thing you notice on the actual keyboard itself, which I'll just show quickly, is all the keys. I'll just actually pull this off again, just so I can show this. They're all different letters. Now, your normal letters you're used to, but this is all in the Tron font. So, yeah. As you can see, Tron font. So they are a bit more harder to read, so you got to get used to the keys again. Right, so again, I'll just plug this back in. I find it easier if you're plugging the numpad in to plug the little adapter piece here into numpad first, and then into the main keyboard part. Just helps it align better. Okay, so the next part of it is this has lighting effects and sound effects. So I'm going to go ahead and go plug this into my computer so you can actually see these light and sound effects. Now basically what I'm going to do is, as you can see here, it's got two USB ports, or USB plugs. So what happens is one powers the keyboard and one connects it to the computer. So one's power, one is connectivity. What will happen though if, say, you plug one of these at a time, is the one will pick it up and the second one you plug it will power. It'll light the keyboard up, but it won't make the sound. This is because the sound only happens when both of them pick up from the computer at the same time. So say, for instance, when you're starting up your computer and from a shutdown state, then it'll pick them up both at the same time. The light will turn on at the same time the computer connects the keyboard. So what I'm going to do to illustrate the actual sound and light at the same time, I'm going to plug these into a hub, and then I'm going to plug that hub into the computer. So they basically plug at the same time. Since we're talking about the ports, these two ports can go into the back of your computer. So then from there you can put your headphone and microphone in the back of your keyboard instead of plugging it into your computer. So it just makes it a bit more convenient. Alright, so let's just plug these into the hub. And it is recommended to have a powered hub, as if you don't, sometimes it can provide not enough power and only light half the keyboard. As you can see, they're both plugged into the hub there. And now I'm going to plug both of them. I'm going to plug the hub into the computer. So we'll look at the keyboard while it's doing this and show how it works. So as you can see, it's pretty cool when it does light up and make that sound. It makes the Razer sound. It starts from that end and it goes all the way to this end. So it looks pretty awesome when that happens. And as you can see, the keys light up as well. It's not just the top two res bars here, it's actually the keys as well. Although that's another thing I'm probably a bit disappointed about, is how bright the keys are. I want the keys to be brighter. For me, I think the keys are a bit too light. I mean, they do the job, but I mean, in a really dark room, you could have done with brighter keys. Okay, so this keyboard has quite a few features. So first, what we'll talk about is the actual keys themselves. So all the keys themselves are low profile. So the idea is that they shorter travel distance, which means that when you press them, the command happens quicker. And for the most part, this is correct. But you need to have to get used to them, because obviously they are low profile. It takes a lot less time to actually press them down. Okay, so when that happens, when you don't have how to actually press them down high enough or whatever like that, how would you say it? It takes a bit used to, because obviously the keyboard, each key is a little bit wider, which means overall the keys are a bit out of whack in terms of where you place your hand. You've got to stretch further, or especially when you're typing. When you get this keyboard and you start typing with it, say you open a Word document or typing an email or something, and you're typing, I found the first time I tried it, I had to do a bit of adjustment because I kept typing two keys at the same time, or actually then go just too little a little distance and then hit the wrong key, like in between somewhere, and hit the other key by accident. So because the keys are a bit bigger, it does take a bit of adjustment for yourself to actually get the spacing right and actually make yourself used to the bigger keys and overall just a longer keyboard. The next step, because I actually played basically Tron Evolution with this keyboard. I played a couple other games just to test it out. It worked pretty well, but I found in Tron Evolution, you're like this. In Control, you're actually pressing Control a lot, because Control is like your block, alright? And you got Shift as well, but you're actually sitting like this with your movement keys, and you're holding your little pinky on Control. Now, most keyboards, it's not too bad to this. After a little while playing, you'll feel it in your fingers from holding that position. Tron Evolution, you press that down so much, and because it's a low priority and all the keys are a bit further apart, you find you stretch your hand a bit more, which can lead your hand to a bit more painful than a normal keyboard. I found that in another game, though, I tried it out. I didn't press the controller as much, and it didn't really have the same effect. So, it depends on the game again, but I mean, overall the keys are bigger and it will take a bit of adjustment. And some games it may be a bit painful the way the keys are laid out. You may have to reprogram them to better suit basically a more comfortable plans where you can put your hand. Another thing this one has to do with the keys to try and fix that as well is the on-the-fly macro recording. So every single one of these keys on the keyboard here, you can assign to it be a macro instead of the key it's just by default. So you've got an FN button here. Don't know if you can see it because it's not lit up. You've got an FN. The FN button does a lot of things. First up, you've got basically all your sound keys up the top here. You've got more sound up here. You've got brightness, so you can turn the light on, or you can turn back on, on or off. You've got a sleep button. You can put your computer to sleep. But most importantly, you see this little M button here, that light, and that's the button. If you press this, that button will light up. What will happen is, when you've got that macro, you can then start recording some macros. Alright, so say you want to press space and enter at the same time, you just hit space and enter. Alright, when you press it again, it'll start flashing. What that means is now you need to press a key that you want to assign that macro to. So if you want space and enter to be shift, you press shift. So the next time you press that again, it'll actually save whatever you've assigned to that new key. So basically, if you've hit space and enter, and then you've pressed shift after that key starts flashing, space and enter will now be assigned to the shift key. Alright, so then you can virtually assign any kind of macro you want, depending of course on what game you want, on the fly. So in a game you think, oh, I wish I could press these two keys together to make it a better, easier experience. Well, that's easy. Just go on the fly, hit the key, and then hit the key you want to assign those to. Another great feature this is game mode, which is this one up here. You press that light will come on. What that does, it disables the Windows key, which is over here, the Windows key. So basically, in the middle of a game, if you press that while gaming mode is on, it will not register, which means you don't accidentally open up the start menu. Makes it a bit easier in case you are prone to accidentally hitting that. So it's a cool little feature. It's a little one, but it's a cool one anyway. So they are quite cool, and the macro key one is pretty awesome. I have to admit, that macro key to just do on the fly for anything is pretty awesome. And in the software, you can assign profiles as well, so you can assign a whole lot of profiles that you can add to the key set quite easily. No drama whatsoever. The next thing I want to cover is the light and sound effects. Now, on the box, and of course everywhere you see advertised the fact that it does in-game light alerts and sound alerts, as well as shutdown sounds. Shutdown sounds. When I've tried to shut down the computer with this plugged in, it makes no difference. It just turns the keyboard off. It does not make any sound. So I don't know what sound it's supposed to make or what, but it doesn't seem to work. Starting up, it makes that res sound, which is perfect if you have the mouse as well. Bang, it'll start up with the mouse as well. So it's pretty awesome. Shut down though, no sounds. In-game alerts. What in-game alerts? I never saw any in-game alerts come up. So I'm not sure what it means by that, and I played Tron Evolution, which you would think at the very least it would work with the game it's sort of designed after, I guess, because Tron Evolution came out after the movie. The keyboard came after the movie, so you would think that in Tron Evolution, if there was any game alerts, Tron Evolution would definitely be a game to use them. But I played through all the way through Tron Evolution with this keyboard as well as a Tron mouse, and I never once got a light flash or something saying that there's something happening in the game. So I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. I haven't been able to pull those off. Even with other games, there's been no light or sound notifications or anything like that from the keyboard itself. So, and I couldn't see any setting of it in the program. So, not really sure where that comes in about in play. But overall, though, even though it's got some down points, it does take a bit of time to get used to. It does have like no notification, what sounds, whatever. It is good because it has those macro keys, which is awesome. It has that game mode, which is cool. And I mean, the keys do respond immediately, which means that is pretty cool. The only downside of that is, of course, bigger keys, longer keyboard. You've got to get used to it. It takes a bit of adjustment. And of course, this keyboard is very expensive. Now, if you're a Tron fan or you're a Tron collector, absolutely, go for it. This keyboard is definitely for you. Something to keep your Tron fandom going and keep you interested in what you've always liked to keep you interested in Tron. But if you're not a Tron fan, or maybe you think, oh, Tron is pretty cool, I might want a Tron keyboard for gaming, well, if you like that, then you're probably looking at going for a better keyboard. Razer has a heap of cool keyboards out there that are more sort of aimed at a bit of everything, not just Tron. So, I mean, if you're unsure about whether you really want a Tron themed, then you're better off spending your money on one of the other Razer keyboards, because honestly, like, in terms of how much this keyboard is to what it does, unless you're a Tron fan, you're probably not going to appreciate it. Tron font keys, Tron lighting, Tron sounds. I mean, if you're a Tron fan, hell yes. If not, probably not worry about it. Go for one of the other Razer keyboards, like one of their Black Widows or the Lycosa, as those mechanical keyboards, and they tend to be a lot better. So, it's really personal choice. Me personally, I've never really liked low profile keyboards, and I actually quite like this low profile keyboard, so that's saying something for low profile keyboards in general. And I mean, they do make it easier for cleaning because there's no gap in between the keys, which means if something like if you're eating around or something, it's a lot more easier to clean. So that's an upside. But again, bigger keys, it's harder to, get used to the first time around. You'll have to spend a bit of time, especially with typing. Gaming is not too bad, but like I say, you are stretching your hand a bit more. But typing is definitely one you'll have to get used to using this keyboard. I know I had to get used to it a bit when I was trying it out. But otherwise, it is a great keyboard. It looks cool. If you have this keyboard along with the Tron mouse, both of them together look absolutely awesome. I mean, when you turn it on the computer it lights both the keyboard and the mouse at the same time up, so you hear the res sound from the keyboard as well as the res sound from the mouse. And if you want to see the mouse review, check out my other video. I'll put a link down in the description, because that mouse is pretty cool as well. So if you are a Tron fan, get both. Have a nice on your keyboard. Look pretty awesome. If not, if you're a gamer looking for a gaming keyboard, probably look at something else, unless, of course, you absolutely want to spend the money on to get a Tron-themed keyboard. But other than that, it's a great product. Like I said, it is quite expensive, but I mean, it's well worth it because it is a quality gaming keyboard, and it's got cool lighting effects, and it's got cool macro features, which I really like. I really like that macro feature. I think that's awesome. But yeah, that's about all I can say about it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Sharkie Gamer. I'll have heaps more controller and accessory reviews up really shortly. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to, and hit that like button if you like this video. Thanks again for watching, guys.